So there is a lot of excitement around the new Partybox 320 due to its better sound, expanded light feature, and its new swappable batteries. But there are still people out there that are asking, how does the Partybox 320 compare to the Partybox 710, and will we be getting a Partybox 720? Now, I really do hope that we get a Partybox 720 after checking out the Partybox Ultimate. But today we're going to compare the Partybox 320 to the Partybox 710, and we're going to see which one is right for you.
We're going on pricing. The Partybox 710 has a retail price of $800, but it now likes to go on sale for $700. Whereas the Partybox 320 has a retail price of $600, but I do expect the speaker to go on sale for $550. Nonetheless, if you want to pick either of these two speakers up, they'll be linked down below, or you can always press on the YouTube shopping button. And if you want to further support the channel, pick up a Big Head approved hat, linked down below. We've got trucker hats and snapbacks. By buying a hat, you help the unbiased and unsponsored videos coming, and it also helps us cover more products and produce more versus videos. Thank you to everyone who's already bought a hat, and look out for more designs coming soon. And also, please remember to hit that like button, and let's get subscribed. So first, we have to talk about the design of these speakers. Obviously, the 710 is much larger and heavier than the Partybox 320. The 710 stands at 36 inches tall, whereas the 320 has a height of 26 inches. And when it comes to weight, the 710 weighs in at 61 pounds, whereas the 320 weighs in at 36 pounds. So in general, moving the 710 up and down stairs can be a two-person job, whereas a single person will be able to easily handle the 320. But besides that, transporting both of these speakers are relatively easy because they both have built-in wheels, and the wheels on both of these speakers are fairly chunky. So they do a good job of dealing with asphalt. But when it comes to durability, these speakers are the same. They both have a mostly plastic body which can get scratched up pretty easily, and they both have a thin middle grille on the front which can get dented easily as well. But both of these speakers are IPX4 rated, so water isn't an issue for either of these speakers. Now when it comes to the port panels on the top, they're pretty similar as well. They both have large dials for your volume and light features, they both have your DJ buttons, and they both have knobs to adjust the sound of your microphone. But something the 320 does have over the 710 is that its port panel on the back is illuminated, which I feel is a nice touch, and also the 320 has a top hat mount on the bottom, so if you want, you can place the 320 on a speaker stand mount. But then there's the light feature on these speakers. Both of these speakers have your conjoined light rings on the front, they both have RGB light bars, and they also have built-in stars. Overall, the light features on both of these speakers are very impressive and very dynamic. And through JBL's app, you can go in and choose from a different lighting modes, and you can even customize these light features. However, if you do decide to use the light feature on the 320, that is going to take its toll on the battery life, but not on the 710, because this speaker does not have a built-in battery. It can only be used while it's plugged in.
Now when it comes to battery life, the Partybox 320 has an advertised battery life of 18 hours, just like the 310. However, this advertised battery life of 18 hours is with this speaker playing at 50% volume, which is already a decent listening volume, but that's with the light feature turned off and with the bass boost feature turned off as well. But real-world use with the 320 playing at 70% volume, which I feel is a really good volume to use when you're with friends. With the light feature turned off and with the bass boost feature set to deep, I found that the 320 is good for about 7 hours, which is good, but I have noticed that the 320 runs out of battery a little faster than the 310, because under the same conditions, the 310 is good for around 7 to 8 hours of playback time. However, one of the main upgrades on the 320 over the 310 is that it now has swappable batteries. And this swappable battery is great for two reasons. First off, you can get multiple batteries and you can just swap the batteries out and you can keep the party going if you're in an area where you can't plug in with the 320. Or if you get to a point where your battery degrades and it can no longer hold a charge, instead of having to replace the whole speaker, you could just buy yourself a new battery. So one of the main selling points to get the 320 over the 710 is because of its built-in battery and smaller size, just making it a lot more portable and versatile. And if you want, you can get multiple batteries and keep the party going. Whereas with the 710, the speaker just isn't as convenient because it's a lot larger and you do have to constantly keep it plugged in. But with power out of the way, let's talk about ports and connectivity. Now, both of these speakers can be connected to two devices at the same time, so you and a friend can both be DJ. Latency is not an issue for either of these two speakers, so you can use them to watch videos with on your phone. And when it comes to audio codecs, both of these speakers have support for SBC and AAC. And when it comes to ports, things are pretty identical here as well. Now, both of these speakers have a USB-A port so that you can either plug in your own devices and charge them up, or so that you can plug in a USB stick and play music off of it. Now, personally, I think it's great and all that both of these speakers have USB-A ports, but I do wish that both of these speakers had USB-C ports because most phones these days just come included with a USB-C to USB-C charging cables. And both of these speakers have your 3.5mm audio jacks, so you can use them with a wired connection, and they both also have your audio out jack, so you can always daisy chain any other speaker to these speakers regardless of size or brand and get them to play in sync.
And both of these speakers have a dual 1/4-inch inputs, so they can either plug in two microphones for karaoke and or so they can plug in a guitar. And both of these speakers have control panels up top where you can quickly and easily adjust the sound of your microphone. You can go ahead and adjust the bass. You can also adjust the treble of your microphone. I'm gonna zero this out. Or if you want, you can go ahead and add an echo. Now, personally, I never use an echo on my microphone, but it's there if you want it. And also, with both of these speakers, we do have DJ buttons up top, which honestly can be a lot of fun if you have the right host. But the important thing here is that both of these speakers are good options for karaoke because you can use both of them with two microphones. Personally, I just wish that both of these speakers had more than two 1/4-inch inputs so you can use them with more than two microphones, especially the 710, just because it's so big. Or I also wish that both of these speakers had XLR inputs so that you can use them with a mixer, especially with the 710, just because it's so big. But with all that out of the way, let's talk about sound. Regarding speaker setup, both the 320 and 710 have dual frontward firing woofers with an exhaust port that shoots out the back and dual frontward firing tweeters, except the setup on the 710 is just larger. Now, through JBL's app, you can go in and adjust the EQ on these speakers to your liking, and there's a separate bass boost feature as well. But I like to use both of these speakers with their stock EQs and with their bass boost feature set to deep. But obviously, the main performance difference between these two speakers is going to be their volume and overall bass. So in this sound test, we're going to be using the 710 at 75% volume. And so that the 320 has a chance of keeping up, we're going to use it while it's set at max volume, and we're going to use it at max volume while it's plugged in. Because when the speaker is plugged in, you do get a performance boost out of it. But it's still nowhere near the 710. But so that you can see for yourself, we're gonna jump into the sound test.
Dear left brain, don't say we can't, just don't say another word. These thoughts you've imagined aren't real, aren't adding up. You fetched your ideas from nowhere, out from another world. Your logic's impaired, your full picture is cropped. Gotta try again. Without doubt, it's my say if all's gonna mend. We both know you're so far off. Oh, it's like you can't see ahead. These feelings you've caught don't make sense. Your plan's gonna flop. You keep raising doubts without cause. All you feel is dread. My logic is fair. If it's pain, it's never gonna stop. Cause we both know that one day it's not gonna cry again. Without doubt, I say if all's gonna mend. We both know that one day the sun's gonna rise again. So don't pout for our sake, 'cause this is the end. We both know that one day the sun's gonna rise again. So don't pout for our sake, 'cause this is the end. The sun's gonna rise. We both know that one day they're just gonna try again. Without doubt, it's our say if all's gonna mend. We both know that one day the sun's gonna rise again. So don't pout for our sake, 'cause this ain't the end.
So first, we need to address max volume performance on these speakers. Obviously, since the 710 is larger than the 320, it's going to get louder and it's going to have more bass as well. I like to say that the 320 is good for like a 20-person get-together, and the 710 is good for like a 35-person get-together. But like I mentioned earlier, with the 320, if you use this speaker while it's plugged in, you are going to get a performance boost out of it. It's going to get louder and it's going to have more bass. But even while it's plugged in and playing at max volume, the 320 is no match for the 710. And when it comes to overall sound quality, I actually feel that these two speakers have very similar instrument separation and detail. So the main difference between these two speakers is just going to be max volume and the amount of physicality in their bass. And in this case, the 710 easily outclasses the 320 here because it gets way louder and it has a lot more wall shaking bass than the 320.
But finally, let's talk about pairing these speakers up with other speakers. Now, with the 710, if you have another 710, then you can wirelessly pair them up and get them to play in left and right stereo mode. Or you can wirelessly pair your 710 up to another party box, like either an Encore, a 110, a 310, or to a 710, and get them to play in sync. But with the 710, you can only have a total of 2 speakers wirelessly paired to one another, and you can't pair the speaker up to any of JBL's smaller Party Boost speakers. But then there's the Partybox 320, which is using Auracast. And again, if you have another 320, then you can wirelessly pair them up and get them to play in left or right stereo mode, or you can pair the 320 up to another Auracast speaker, like let's say a 120, and get them to play in sync. But unfortunately, you cannot wirelessly connect your 320 to any of JBL's older party boxes, like either an Encore, a 110, 310, or a 710, and you also cannot connect your 320 up to any of JBL's smaller Party Boost speakers. Now, JBL's app does mention that you can connect Party Boost speakers to Auracast speakers, but it seems like you can only connect Auracast speakers like the Clip 5, Go 4, or Extreme 4. Unfortunately, neither the 120 or 320 show up on this list, so I don't know if JBL is going to add compatibility to the 120 and 320. Hopefully that comes through a firmware update, because it'd be great if you can connect your larger box speakers to your smaller Party Boost speakers. Now, I do feel that not being able to connect your 320 to any of JBL's older Partybox speakers does suck. But like I mentioned earlier, both of these speakers do have audio out jacks, so you can always daisy chain any other speakers to these speakers regardless of size or brand and get them to play in sync. So at least there's that.
So with all that being said, if you're trying to choose between these two speakers, it all comes down to your needs. With the Partybox 710, you are going to get a lot more sound out of it. It gets significantly louder and it has significantly more bass than the 320. But with the 710, transporting the speaker around can be a two-person job and it can only be used while it's plugged in. Whereas with the 320, this speaker is a lot more portable because it's smaller and lighter. Plus, it has that built-in battery, and thanks to the new swappable batteries, if you get multiple batteries, you can keep the party going no matter where you are. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit the like button and get subscribed. If you want to pick any of the products up, they'll be linked down below. And if you want to further support the channel, check out the merch. I made some shirts and hoodies that look and feel great. And you know I can be very particular, so I'll only slap my name on something if I'm really proud of it.